Welcome to Drunk Bible Study. This show's mission is to read every single word of the greatest story ever told. A warning to our listeners, the hosts of this show are sinners, but they're doing their best. There will be drinking and there may be some swears. They did say they'd try to keep it clean, but I wouldn't put my money on it.
I'm Emily, and this is Drunk Bible Study, where my good friends Dedeker and Jace teach me, a born and raised atheist, all about the Bible. So Jace and Dedeker, how are we doing today?
I'm good. I'm hanging in there. I just came back from like a 15-hour flight from Asia.
Yes.
And the wine is helping, but
Good.
I feel like I am fading fast. And so that means either this podcast is really going to fall apart or it's going to get that much better toward the end of this episode.
I guess we'll have to
find
see.
out.
Yeah. I'm doing well. I'm still excited that the three of us are all in the same place.
I agree as well.
Because looking at your faces not on a computer screen is awesome.
And maybe like it was just me, but I felt like the last podcast was really fun, and it maybe just extra special fun because all of us were together.
More of a contact high that way, I suppose.
Yeah, that's probably part of it. Hopefully the listeners out there enjoyed it as well.
Yeah.
We also got to the end of Job speaking.
Apparently,
supposedly, I'm skeptical.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, that's actually the end of Job speaking.
It said the words of Job are ended or something like that, right? The word. This is the end of the words of Job. I don't know, something.
Yeah,
maybe it's like Job the Encore.
Right. Well, we did talk about Job Strikes Back and the final Job.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We haven't. I don't think we have actually reached the final Job yet.
Well, anyway, so there's 3 more episodes after this one of Job, and I think this is going to get action packed.
I think so too.
That's what you're putting your money on?
I hope so.
I think this is going to be nonstop action for the next 4 episodes, including this one.
We'll take a full 180 on Job.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens.
All right.
But before we get to that, do we remember what happened last time? It was Job's last speaking. Emily,
a lot happened.
Yeah. Give us some of the highlights that you remember.
I mean, I can't forget about the meat. Job and giving his meat to everyone, everyone.
They were all filled with his meat.
They were filled
and satisfied.
That's what
other translations clarify.
No, that they could not be satisfied.
Oh.
They desired of his flesh, and they could not be satisfied.
Wait, but I thought the other translations were like, there isn't anyone who can say that they're not satisfied with his meat.
Maybe it's just
you're right.
Maybe it was
one of the other ones,
insatiable.
too.
It was an insatiable meat, and they just loved it so much they had to get it all the time.
Oh boy!
So that was basically it. And then he was a vampire hunter, or a zombie hunter.
No, it was vampire
zombie hunter.
Yeah.
Oh,
and I don't know what else besides that. Basically
what are we drinking this time around?
Good question.
More wine.
Yeah, that's basically it. We're this
boxes into wine.
The same box of wine.
Well, I don't think that we last time mentioned specifically what kind of box wine. What kind of box wine did you get for us?
It's a cab.
It's a Cabernet Sauvignon called Provisions. Which is a boxed wine, but marketed to hipsters.
Is it really marketed to hipsters?
All right, look
at
that
the
box.
packaging.
Well, I mean, it's a beautiful...
You at home, just Google Provisions boxed wine or something, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's like a sort of, non-glossy cardboard, very eco-friendly looking.
Written very 1800s.
Looks very
Little
Trader
House on the Prairie
Joe's-ish,
style. Yeah, very Trader Joe's-ish kind of package design.
Damn it is marketed to hipsters. Fine. Okay, fine. I'm like, what do you mean? And then you just explained
it's really not
what
bad,
a hipster
though.
is.
No, it's really
no. I'm enjoying it.
So
I don't really like cabs, but
to hipsters
here it is.
instead of what's normal boxed wine marketed to.
My grandmother, I think. She was the one who always bought it.
I was going to say stay-at-home moms, but
yeah.
I was going to say people who were in college who didn't know what to buy.
Oh, see, I thought wine coolers
wines. Wine spritzers. Yeah, is a wine spritzer and a wine cooler the same thing?
When you haven't learned to enjoy alcohol yet.
Actual wine.
Yeah.
I first got drunk off of a Mike's Hard Lemonade.
Oh yeah, mine was a Smirnoff Ice.
Oh, basically
thing.
The same thing. Yeah.
What about you?
My first time getting drunk was at a bar, so I had all sorts of things.
Jeez.
It's on my 21st birthday.
Wow.
That was your first time getting drunk? Was your 21st birthday?
With whom?
I had alcohol before, but that was my first time getting like drunk.
Such a good boy.
Right? I was a very good boy, yes.
That was the first time I got drunk. Or no.
My first time getting sick was
I'm
also
lying.
Smirnoff Ices.
Oh.
Yuck.
No, I was 19, so I wasn't 21.
Yeah. No, it was my first time, was my 21st birthday, and ended up going back like a day or two later to that bar, asking out the bartender from that night.
Whoa.
And she was like,
No, she said yes.
of course.
We ended up getting engaged a few years later.
What? It was Courtney?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I didn't know that was the origin story
Yeah,
of
that's
that
how we met.
relationship.
She was the first time we met was on my 21st birthday when she was the bartender
And
at
she
the
was like
college
that sloppy
bar.
21-year-old really did it for me.
I don't know why, but I really liked that kid.
How much older was she than
A
you?
year or something.
Yeah, like one or 2 years older
Wow.
than me. Yeah, not by much. But yeah.
Well, you're not engaged anymore. Spoiler
Nope.
alert for those listening.
No.
Yep. Don't worry, my meat is unclaimed.
On that note.
Okay. So I'll start us out, huh?
Great.
Yeah.
So, okay, Job 32, it does have a subtitle.
Oh.
The subtitle is just Elihu.
Elihu?
Elihu.
Ellie, what?
Eli when?
Elihu?
Elihu. Elihu. Elihu? Elihu.
El-
Elihu?
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 I don't know.
Elihu sounds funnier, so
there
I'm
it
going to say
is.
that. Okay.
Tell us about it.
So, these three men stopped... What?
So...
You don't like that delivery of the Bible?
No, it's good. Very
like it. I do
conversational.
like it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, these three men stopped answering Job because he was righteous in his own eyes.
Eh.
But Elihu,
true.
Yeah.
son of Barachel, the Boozite,
He's a boozy boozite.
yeah, we're some Boozites here, of the family of Ram, or I'll say Ram,
Okay.
became very angry with Job for justifying himself rather than God.
Wait, so this random son,
passerby.
This random guy,
this random son,
Elihu, gets angry with Job. Okay, he was also angry with the three friends because they had found no way to refute Job and yet had condemned him. So Elihu's just like fed up with the whole situation.
Wait, mad that they had found no way to refute Job and yet had condemned
Like, I
him.
think like they had found no way to actually debate the points that Job was making.
And instead we're just
but we're still
talking
just
shit?
Yeah, just talking poop,
Interesting.
as we say on this podcast.
No,
Okay.
we've said shit.
Well, no, we're not going to say it no more.
Are we not?
We're going to try not
We'll
to.
see.
We're trying our best to have as few swears as possible.
We did say we'd
Yeah,
do our
we're
best.
Gonna try.
Yeah.
Okay.
We try to keep it clean.
Now, Elihu had waited before speaking to Job because they were older than he. Also because they would not shut up.
Yeah.
He couldn't get a word in edgewise.
Yep.
So wait, but nobody talked of Elihu before.
No.
So maybe he's been there in the shadows
Been
or
in the
something.
shadows, just eavesdropping this entire time.
Sort of like at the beginning with Satan, it's sort of like, where did you come from?
Okay.
He's like, I've been here the whole time, guys.
Yeah.
But when he saw that the three men had nothing more to say, his anger was aroused.
Oh.
So Elihu, son of Barachel the Boozite, said, I am young in years, and you are old. That is why I was fearful, not daring to tell you what I know. I thought, age should speak, advanced years should teach wisdom. But it is the spirit in a person, the breath of the Almighty, that gives them understanding. It is not only the old who are wise, not only the aged who understand what is right. Therefore I say, listen to me. I too will tell you what I know.
Okay.
I waited while you spoke. I listened to your reasoning while you were searching for words. I gave you my full attention. So he really has been here this entire
Yeah,
time.
he's literally
Listening.
been here the whole
Randomly.
time.
This is random.
So he's just been waiting here this whole time.
Yeah.
Just sitting, listening.
Trying to be
No one
respectful, I
acknowledged,
guess. He's like, all
guess.
these
But
old
then
guys must know what they're
finally-
talking about.
And finally it's like, okay,
like,
okay,
oh,
hold
God.
up. Hold up.
Frickin' baby boomers, man. Okay. I gave you my full attention, but not one of you has proved Job wrong. None of you has answered his arguments. Do not say, we have found wisdom. Let God, not a man, refute him. But Job has not marshaled his words against me, and I will not answer him with your arguments.
Okay.
I'm confused. They are dismayed and have no more to say. Words have failed them. Must I wait now that they are silent, now that they stand there with no reply? I too will have my say. I too will tell what I know.
Well, then
Just
say,
say it
it
already.
Exactly,
For
kid.
For I am full of words. And
Yeah.
You're full of a lot of hot air.
You and everyone else.
A lot of hot air is what you're full of.
and the spirit within me compels me. Inside, I am like bottled up wine, like new wineskins ready to burst.
What is a wineskin? Like the skin of a grape?
No.
It's like
Okay.
a leather
Skin of an animal.
it's the skin of an animal.
That's why I don't know.
Yeah.
That's like a like a leather or animal hide thing that you would
put
store your wine in.
Before there was a way to make glass bottles to put your wine in.
Right.
You'd put it in a wineskin.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it
Drink it.
like soak into the leather?
A little bit.
Well, I feel like it was probably made not just from like a leather, like a like a leather bag, but probably also maybe some sort of an intestine
Maybe
or
a
stomach
stomach,
or
yeah.
something that was
Yeah,
more
that would
waterproof.
That would
Times
actually
two.
None of it's vegan. Come
None
on.
of it's vegan, exactly.
Okay.
But also, I imagine that like an old, like a wineskin that's already had wine in it before would also help with the fermentation process of like new wine put into it. You know,
Okay, yeah. So he's like a new wineskin ready to burst.
Dedeker's
Sorry, you're on
from
drunk-
Napa,
on
so
Right, drunk wine
on
history.
drunk fermentation talk with Dedeker Winston. Okay.
Love it.
Like new wineskins ready to burst. I must speak and find relief. I must open my lips and reply. I will show no partiality, nor will I flatter anyone. For if I were skilled in flattery, my maker would soon take me away. Is that
what
a
does
joke?
that mean?
Is that him like...
No, he's not joking.
I don't think he knows how to joke.
Does he
think so.
mean
Come on.
flattery as in like if I was like lying to people and blowing smoke up their skirt, then God would be upset about that? Is that
I
what
think
it means?
I think he's saying that. Yeah,
Okay.
I love it though because I was actually thinking about like our copy about our show where we talk about like we're not here to preach any religion and we're not here to bash anybody. We could just replace it with this: like we will show no partiality, nor will we flatter anyone. He's basically saying the same thing though, right?
That's true.
He's like, I'm not
That's true.
taking anyone's side and I'm not against anyone. However,
However,
all right. I just want to.
So Elihu has entered stage left.
Yep.
and said nothing.
Well, said that he wants to say a lot
Said
of things.
a lot of nothing. Yeah, he's full of words.
He's full of words, though.
He's full of hot air and words.
I'm ready to get into these words.
Okay.
Okay, let's do
Here
it.
it
These
is.
words.
But now, Job, listen to my words. Pay attention to everything I say. I am about to open my mouth.
He's
My
teasing
words
us.
are on the tip of my tongue.
Just like, who
Elihu,
is
say
this
it.
guy?
My words come from an upright heart. My lips sincerely speak what I know. The Spirit of God has made me. The breath of the Almighty gives me life. Answer me then, if you can. Stand up and argue your case before me. I am the same as you in God's sight. I too am a piece of clay. No fear of me should alarm you, nor should my hand be heavy upon you. But you have said in my hearing, I heard the very words.
I was sitting here listening the entire whole time, this whole past 10 episodes.
Okay, but you have said in my hearing, not like a legal hearing, but
Yeah,
in
that's-
my auditory space,
His hearing, he heard this.
I heard the very words. I am pure. I have done no wrong. I am clean and free from sin. Yet God has found fault with me. He considers me his enemy. He fastens my feet in shackles. He keeps close watch on all my paths.
Wait a minute. He's not talking about Elihu himself. He's talking about
Job said that.
Elihu is
Job.
quoting Job right
Okay.
now. Yeah.
He's saying, Job, you said those things.
Okay.
Right? But I tell you, in this you are not right, for God is greater than any mortal. Why do you complain to him that he responds to no one's words? For God does speak, now one way, now another, though no one perceives it. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falls on people as they slumber in their beds, he may speak in their ears, or terrify them with warnings,
Jeez.
to turn them from wrongdoings and keep them from pride, to preserve them from the pit, their lives from perishing by the sword.
Okay. So Elihu's trying to make the point that like God speaks in many
ways.
ways,
But
many
we're just-
He
mysterious
has
ways.
mysterious ways, exactly.
Yes, but we're not listening. But most of us aren't paying
Yeah, we
attention, or we don't realize.
Or maybe he's saying, Job, you're not paying attention.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, that is sort of the subtext, I
Yeah.
suppose. Or Someone may be chastened on a bed of pain with constant distress in their bones,
Jeez.
so that their body finds food repulsive and their soul loathes the choicest meal.
Oh.
Job did say those things. Their flesh wastes away to nothing, and their bones, once hidden, now stick out.
Gross body
Drink,
stuff.
gross,
Yeah, we
drink
can't
out,
do.
drink out, gross out, gross out, drink out,
Drinking.
gross out, drink
Gross
out.
out, drink out.
They draw near to the pit, and their life to the messengers of death. Because their life draws near to the messengers of death. Okay.
Yeah.
Yet, if there is an angel at their side, a messenger, 1 out of 1,000, sent to tell them how to be upright, and he is gracious to that person and says to God, "Spare them from going down to the pit. I have found a ransom for them. Let their flesh be renewed like a child's."
What?
Ew.
A child? What? Like a child's flesh?
Like
Yeah.
children's
Like all-
flesh are new and stuff.
It's like on all those ads for, moisturizers that have babies' butts.
Look at that baby's butt. It's
Don't you want your face to be like this butt? Come on, buy our stuff. You know those ads.
In that accent.
Yeah.
Come on.
Come on.
Buy it. Buy our stuff.
Buy our stuff. Get a baby butt face. Let their flesh be renewed like a child's. Let them be restored as in the days of their youth. Then that person can pray to God and find favor with him. They will see God's face and shout for joy. He will restore them to full well-being. And they will go to others and say, "I have sinned. I have perverted what is right, but I did not get what I deserved. God has delivered me from going down to the pit, and I shall live to enjoy the light of life."
Okay, hang on.
Is the pit like
Hell, I
I
think,
suppose?
yeah.
Okay, no, or is it the grave?
Either one.
Okay, I
Oh.
need help understanding because, so he sets up that, like, if there's an angel at their side who is sent to tell them how to be upright,
Yep.
and also that person intercedes, that the messenger, the angel or whatever, and says to God, "Hey, spare them, take care of them, let them have a baby butt face."
Right.
And then it's going to be okay. Then it's all going to turn out okay. So Elihu's making the argument that, like, you need to
This is
hope
a message you need to be listening to?
you need to be
Maybe?
maybe.
Sorry, what were you going to say?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I was hoping you would explain.
All right.
it.
Well, yeah, I mean, it seems like he's saying, when he's saying that, like, the messages of God, that we don't know it's God's message, and he gives examples of someone may be chastened on a bed of pain, or that their body finds food repulsive.
But if-
these are all things Job has said.
But if we don't know that it's God's message, then like how is it helpful at all?
And is he implying that there is an angel interceding for Job here?
Well, Job had said something similar about, like, I have what did he say? Like an intercessor
Yeah,
or
something like that.
an advocate in
Who
heaven?
is-
Yeah, an advocate.
Well, remember we
How does he
debated.
know?
Like, well,
I don't know.
think
It was
that's part of-
ambiguous.
Maybe that's part of the belief that he had at that time that was right. And we talked about, like, is he talking about Jesus? And then we're like, maybe it's something else. But now it sounds like that's
Jesus isn't alive.
well, we talked about him kind of.
Wait, did Jesus like live before?
Well, Job is considered a prophet.
Is he?
What?
What? Really?
Well, Job is one of the 25 prophets of Islam.
There are 25?
That's very few, actually. Like, there are a lot of prophets.
I don't know what's a
It's
large
all
amount
relative.
of
Thank you
prophets and
very
what's
much.
a small
Yeah.
amount of prophets.
But yeah, Islam has, I think, 25 prophets, and Job is listed amongst
Oh, I didn't
those
know that.
25.
What is he prophesizing?
Well, remember way back when, like just a few chapters into Job, he said something that we all agreed was like, or at least Dedeker and I agreed, was like, he's definitely like flash forwarding to Jesus.
Yes, right.
He was
right.
talking about like, but something about like my savior or like my intercessor will come or
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
like
Wait a
that.
minute, wait a minute.
Like
Can
a
Jesus
redeemer or
be
something?
saving past people? So before we move on to the next chapter, we would like to take a quick break to talk to you about Patreon. So Patreon is a great place to help us out, help keep this show going. So even $1 a month on Patreon, which you can go to patreon.com/drunkbiblestudy and you can sign up to become a patron of ours. And even at $1, it really helps us to keep the show going. For $6 a month, you can become a parishioner. So that means you get access to bonus episodes, which are super helpful and informative to someone like me who knows very little about the Bible and sometimes needs a little bit of extra help. And Jason Dedeker are great about giving me some awesome info onto like things that might be a little bit challenging to understand when I take a first pass at reading the Bible. So sometimes we get things like more in-depth analysis and research, and then sometimes also we get to listen to things like musicals, Bible musicals. There's a lot of biblical musicals out there, guys.
There are a lot.
And that's awesome because I love musicals and I love getting to watch them with the two of you. And then all of you beautiful people out there. So if you want to get in on us watching and listening to those amazing shows, movies, musicals, then become a parishioner of ours. And then finally at $12 a month, you become a disciple. So you get to support the show, you get all the bonus content, and then you also get ad-free episodes, which is super awesome. You don't have to listen to me gab. And then also, you get them 2 days early. Like, what? That's so cool. You get them before anyone else. So you're super extra special, which obviously you already are, but you're super extra special. So become a patron of ours at patreon.com/drunkbiblestudy today. Help us out, be extra special, and get some new bonus content as well.
And so, speaking of extra special, we have a goal. We have a goal to build a congregation. We have a congregational goal. And so that congregational goal is we're trying to reach 300 patrons. And when we reach that goal of 300 patrons, then we're finally going to be able to start releasing 2 Bible studies every week instead of just once a week. So that means that you don't need to wait as long between episodes. It means you're going to get more content in addition to like our bonus content as well if you're a patron. So again, help us reach our congregational goal, join our family, join our little not quite churchy family, and go to patreon.com/drunkbiblestudy.
And then the last thing we wanted to talk about is just if you could take a moment, a couple minutes out of your day and write us a review on iTunes or on Stitcher. So I'm going to give you the real scoop on this show. This is a difficult show to spread the word and advertise about for us because a lot of social media platforms don't let us advertise a show that has anything about drinking in the name of it, number one. And two, like, identifying our target audience is hard, right? Because this isn't something that's just for Christians. It's also not for like anti-Christians. It's something else entirely. And so the best way to actually get this out there and for more people to read it is to get reviews from you. To take a moment to leave us a review on iTunes or Stitcher that's going to help other people know what to expect from this. It'll make us more likely to show up on like the new and noteworthy lists or higher in the rankings on iTunes, which is a big way that a lot of people find podcasts. So if you could really just take those couple minutes, that would be huge in terms of us growing this, which if you think about it, means more people listening to the show, which means more other patrons, which makes us more likely to get to the 300 patrons, which then gets you more drunk Bible study each week. It's just, again, it's a snowball effect of winning. So if you could take those couple minutes and write us a review, it would make a huge difference for us, as well as spreading the word to your friends and anyone you know who might be into this.
Because Job is like...
We'll get to that. I know it's going to be years before we get there, but let's try not to get...
Okay, can I drink every time you two say...
Yes.
We'll get to that.
Yes,
we'll get to that.
Only Emily can drink every time.
Thank you.
It'll come later. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Emily will just be incredibly drunk all the time if that's part of our drinking game.
A couple episodes ago, I really was.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, so I guess now we have this idea that angels also kind of fulfill that role of paying a ransom for your soul or something.
What?
So then they will go to others and say that I did not get what I deserved, right? And that God delivered me from that. I didn't get the punishment that I deserved.
Yes.
Deserved.
Jeez.
God has delivered me from going down to the pit, and I shall live to enjoy the light of life. God does all these things to a person, twice, even 3 times, to turn them back from the pit, that the light of life may shine upon them. Pay attention, Job, and listen to me. Be silent, and I will speak. You're already speaking. If you have anything to say, answer me. Speak up, for I want to vindicate you.
Wait a minute.
Be silent.
Said be silent, but speak up. Exactly. Which one is it, bro?
Oh, I see. If you have anything to say, answer me. Speak up, for I want to vindicate you. But if not, then listen to me. Be silent, and I will teach you wisdom.
Okay. You first.
Okay, I'll go first. Okay, so Elihu is essentially making the argument of that like God's doing this because he's trying to actually save you from going down from the pit. He's trying to like wake you up. Is that what he's saying?
Okay.
Like God's kind of just trying to wake you up and be like, hey, listen to me, pay attention.
Just what gives this guy the right to say all this stuff to Job?
Because he's waited this entire time not saying anything.
Come on, nah.
That's true. He did wait very patiently.
I guess so, but like why does he have any authority to say anything? Like what makes him so good?
Well, he makes the argument, he's like, I know I'm young, but it's not just old people who know what's right.
Yeah.
What does he say?
I'm older for my age.
I'm just born to be bad.
Yep.
Basically.
Yep. It's from Rent. Jeez.
Okay,
Goodness
that's
sake.
what I thought. That was, yeah.
Come on.
No,
Emily,
I
keep
thought
up.
so, but I didn't know if you were referencing Rent. I had Rent in my head, but then I was like, are you referencing Rent?
Anyway, he just says it's the spirit in a person and the breath of the Almighty that gives them understanding. So I think
and
he's
of
like,
the wild.
Yeah,
good
also
Lord.
What? It's
How
a
many
great
references can we force into this episode?
many.
One. That was only one so far.
Was it?
That was 2, Breath of the Wild and Rent.
Oh, I see. I thought you just meant references to Breath of the Wild.
Good Lord.
Because we have had a lot of those on this podcast so
Can we
far.
please keep... We're almost done with this chapter.
We
Oh, wait,
are.
no, we did. We are.
That
done
was the
with
end of the chapter.
Great.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Last chapter.
Emily.
What the hell did you just say?
Emily.
That's so... No, every time everyone's like, what's your name? And I'm like, Emily. And they're like, Emmeline?
What?
Amelie?
You're like, it's only the most common
No,
name
that's
in
what
the
I'm like.
States,
I'm
right?
like, I must like say something weird, or they don't understand me because of my low voice. They're just listening to that and not to what I'm saying.
Emily?
Do I have like a diphthong when I'm
Emily?
saying my name?
Emily.
I do like
Emily?
Emmeline, though. That's a
Emmeline.
good
Yeah,
Southern
they're
name
like
for you.
Emmeline, and I'm
Emmeline-
like, no.
No, Emmeline is a very good farm wife name.
Yeah.
For you.
That's what I meant.
Do I look like a wife?
If you were to work at like a frontier town kind of place,
Yeah.
you could be Emmeline.
Emmeline, definitely.
Yeah, be good.
Like, you mean Disneyland? Disneyland.
No, like a
Like
you
a
know, like
Westworld type of place, I suppose.
the real world version of Westworld.
Yeah.
Clearly, you didn't grow up in the Midwest. All right, let's move on.
Neither did either of you.
I did.
There were frontier towns in Northern California. Oh, because we had gold mining towns. That was more the thing.
Now, Emily, Elihu has had 2 chapters of not really saying anything
Well,
yet.
he's going to have another chapter of something. I don't know what it is.
Okay, give
He's
it
just-
to us.
Gosh. Here we go. Then Elihu said, "Hear my words, you wise men. Listen to me, you men of learning." And they're all sitting there like, we've been listening.
Yeah.
Say something, kid.
Like, who the F is this?
Yeah.
Good. More Hamilton
Thanks.
references.
Yeah,
in
see
this.
more references.
Yeah.
We can ham
Yeah.
bone into
Yep.
this. I mean, ham fist.
Hamilton fist.
Hamilton into
Hamilton
Yes.
bone.
Okay.
Really
Okay.
falling apart. It's falling apart, y'all.
For the ear tests words as the tongue tastes food.
Suppose.
Okay.
Okay,
food.
interesting.
Yeah, I like it.
Let us discern for ourselves what is right. Let us learn together what is good. Job says, I am innocent, but God denies me justice. Although I am right, I am considered a liar. Although I am guiltless, his arrow inflicts an incurable wound.
Nice Job voice.
No, I love that it's Elihu impersonating Job.
Oh, right. Okay.
Right, this is Elihu quoting Job.
Nice
It's
Elihu
good.
impersonating Job.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
There's levels.
Yes, thank you. Is there anyone like Job who drinks scorn like water?
Oh, that's a good dog.
I mean,
You gotta
that
take
is
on that
true.
one.
Yeah,
He's.
that's good.
I mean, I'll give him that. Okay. He keeps company with evildoers.
Oh.
He associates with the wicked. Does he though?
Is he saying that his friends are eevildoers and the wicked?
But
Is that what he is implying?
oh, eek.
Is he like dunking on everyone all at once?
All at
Is that
once.
like a finish your drink?
That's,
Dangerous.
He is.
that's really dangerous.
For he says, there is no profit. There is no profit in trying to please God. But, I mean, that's not true. We've heard what Job has to say, and he didn't say
Yeah,
that.
I feel like Job hasn't said these things. So
No.
this
I feel
is
Like, this is just a bunch of people misunderstanding each other.
yeah,
It is.
Yeah,
There's bad communication going
It's
all
like
the way
my
around.
job, and it makes me anxious.
yeah. This is some bad communication going on here. Yeah.
Okay. So listen to me, you men of understanding. Far be it from God to do evil, from the Almighty to do wrong. He repays everyone for what they have done. He brings on them what their conduct deserves.
Good one.
Keep it together.
He brings on them what their conduct deserves. It is unthinkable that God would do wrong, that the Almighty would pervert justice. Who appointed him over the earth? Who put him in charge of the whole world? Like,
yeah,
he did?
I guess he did. Yeah. He's the only one.
Okay, so, I mean... All right. So he doesn't have anyone, like, keeping tabs on him, though.
Oh, I see. It's like a who watches the
guards.
watchman. Yeah, okay.
No one. I guess that was kind of the moral of that story.
Yeah.
If it were his intention and he withdrew his spirit and breath, all humanity would perish together and mankind would return to the dust.
Okay.
If you have understanding, hear this. Listen to what I say. Can someone who hates justice govern? Will you condemn the just and mighty one?
Capitalized one. Is that your emphasis on one?
What? Is he not the one who says to kings, "You are worthless," and to nobles, "You are wicked"?
He is Arnold Schwarzenegger.
You're right, he kind of is. Who shows no partiality to the princes or to princes, and does not favor the rich over the poor, for they are all the work of his hands.
Okay. So, yeah, all right. He's saying stuff that is very similar to what Job was saying before.
We're all kind of the same there.
Still waiting for Elihu
to drop some sick knowledge.
Right? Yeah.
But none occurs.
Nothing
okay.
yet.
They die in an instant, in the middle of the night. The people are shaken, and they pass away. The mighty are removed without human hand. His eyes are on the ways of mortals. He sees their every step. There is no deep shadow, no utter darkness where evildoers can hide.
I see, because God sees everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
God has no need to examine people further, that they should come before him for judgment. Without inquiry, he shatters the mighty and sets up others in their place. Because he takes note of their deeds, he overthrows them in the night, and they are crushed.
Whoa.
Wow.
I know. Apparently, like, they're talking about all this stuff that God does, and it's, like, real bad, real bad.
Yeah. Well, Old Testament God.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess he's saying, though, that this happens to the mighty as well as to the poor.
Yeah, to anyone.
There is definitely a message of
equality.
Yeah,
in what Job was saying and what Elihu is saying.
Elihu? Eli what? Eli why?
I mean,
Eli how?
If anyone's a companion of owls,
definitely Elihu.
definitely it's Elihu.
He punishes them for their wickedness where everyone can see them because they turned from him because they turned from following him and had no regard for any of his ways. They caused the cry of the poor to come before him so that he heard the cry of the needy. But if he remains silent, who can condemn him? If he hides his face, who can see him? Who is he talking about?
Yeah, the he got confusing for me. They caused the cry of the poor to come before him so that he heard the cry of the needy. That sounds like God still.
Okay.
But if he remains silent, who can condemn him? Oh, I see.
Yeah, I think it's still God.
But why isn't he capitalized?
I don't know.
Well, oh dear. That doesn't seem to be doing that in this book.
Yeah, it's not capitalizing he for God here.
Because, you're right. The him isn't capitalized.
Right.
Okay.
But I think he's saying, I guess, just that God can do these things of, snuffing out rulers without people having to do it. But if he remains silent, who can condemn him? If God hides his face, who can see him? Right? Like, if God decides not to intervene, also, like, we can't decide that either, or like we don't get to know what's happening.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yet he is over individual and nation alike. Right? So, like, God's still above all of us, no matter what he's doing, whether he's getting involved or not.
Yeah.
I guess.
Okay. To keep the godless from ruling, from laying snares for the people. Suppose someone says to God, "I am guilty, but will offend no more. Teach me what I cannot see. If I have done wrong, I will not do so again." Should God then reward you on your terms when you will refuse to repent? You must decide, not I. So tell me what you know. Men of understanding declare, wise men who hear me, say to me. Job speaks without knowledge. His words lack insight. Oh, that Job might be tested to the utmost for answering like a wicked man.
Jeez.
Oh.
To his sin he adds rebellion. Scornfully he claps his hands among us and multiplies his words against God.
Again with the clapping
Just like
of hands.
Scornful clapping.
Wait, didn't we establish in our drinking game that repeating a metaphor is grounds
Yes.
for
Yeah, I
drinking?
think we did.
I think we got to
Okay.
drink to
Drink,
that one.
Right.
Clapping his hands.
clap it.
And
Scornfully, though.
Okay, so I feel like in this third chapter, Elihu finally said a little bit of something. I'm not totally
Like
clear on
very
what that
little
was. I'm not totally clear on
And
what
again,
that
I'm
was.
still unclear of is he on Job's side or is he?
Definitely not. I don't think he's
You
on
don't think
Job's
so?
side. Well, he's set up his whole two chapters of I'm gonna tell you some stuff was all about like I'm gonna refute Job.
Right. Okay.
But not by telling him he's a bad guy like you guys have done. I'm actually going to try to...
actually going to refute his arguments.
Right.
Yeah.
So
So do you think he's then going to go on to refute the friends as well? Like, do you think Elihu just steps in and is just like, wrong, you're wrong,
That
you're
he
wrong,
just shoots
you're wrong,
everyone
you're wrong.
down.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's what my prediction is for what's going to happen next.
Interesting.
Wait, so God is going to become a character again in this book?
No. My prediction was that Elihu was just going to cut down everyone.
I see.
That's not a
Okay.
very exciting prediction, but it is in line
Yeah.
with what we've seen so far. What do y'all think is going to happen?
I feel like he's going to keep talking, but maybe shooting down the other guys? No, I think he's going to stay focused on Job. I'm going to put my money on stay focused on Job.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
going to talk to Job, and then eventually Job is going to strike back. And then...
Job Strikes Back. We did set up the sequels. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Can I just, because I've been trying to figure out when I accidentally saw some kind of spoilers about Job.
Jeez.
Well, because you and I, Dedeker, were looking at the Brick Testament.
Oh, yeah.
What's the Brick Testament?
Gosh, it's a really old website because I remember discovering it when I was still a teenager.
Does it still look old
A
online?
little bit. They just published a book, though, that I think is newer. No, they just took a bunch of stories from the Bible and recreated them with Legos. So
Like,
it's
took
like,
pictures
what?
of
yeah,
like,
it's like a
scenes
photo
from
series.
the Bible.
God.
Yeah, all in Legos.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cute. But anyway, I was looking at the section on Job, and they definitely used like sort of the zombie Lego pieces for Job to
Yeah.
like look all gross and wound,
That's awesome.
Yes.
scabs and what have you.
Yeah.
Scabby.
But there was a chapter or like a heading of one of the pictures that was like a random, like a passerby refutes Job or a passerby comments or something like that, where I was like, oh, another person's going to speak. So I actually kind of knew that someone else was going to come in here.
And here he is.
But it was described as like a passerby rather than this, where it's like, no, he said, I've been sitting here listening
The
to
entire
everything all you
time.
guys have
he's
said.
not really a passerby.
So I was curious about other translations of this.
Oh, interesting.
And so I was thinking the Message might be a good place to go.
take a
Well,
look.
why would he know all of the things that Job had said before if he was just a passerby?
No, I think he was there, I guess.
Well,
I-
exactly. But
passing by, but
were you
then
just
he's
thinking
like-
that it would be a passerby?
Okay, so I was curious about this. So I looked up the translation of the first chapter of this
Okay.
from the Message Bible, because that would put it in more like, everyday
I'm
speech.
sorry, what is the message?
It's a Bible that was just translated into like very contemporary speech.
Okay.
This is the one with like that had the licking tin cans and all that, but it's like very modernized.
Yeah, super, super modernized.
Okay.
The idea, I think, being that it's getting the message across rather
Right.
than just being a literal translation.
Trying to be more accessible to people.
Right.
Okay. That makes sense.
Okay, so here's the beginning of that first chapter we read today in the Message Bible. This says, Job's 3 friends now fell silent. They were talked out.
Yeah.
Stymied because Job wouldn't budge an inch, wouldn't admit to an ounce of guilt. Then Elihu lost his temper. In parentheses, Elihu was the son of Barachel, the Buzite from the clan of Ram.
Cool.
He blazed out in anger against
Blazed.
Job
Whoa.
for pitting his righteousness against God's. For pitting his righteousness against God's. He was also angry with the three friends because they had neither come up with an answer nor proved Job wrong. Elihu had waited with Job while they spoke because they were all older than he. Waited with Job. Okay. When he saw that the three other men had exhausted their arguments, he exploded with pent-up anger. Let's see. And then he said, I'm a young man and you are all old and experienced. That's why I kept quiet. Yeah, okay, this is kind of the same.
Okay.
But so still, it has him kind of sitting there. I don't know why that was considered a passerby in the Brick Testament. Anyway, maybe that was their mistake.
Yeah, maybe.
Huh.
Anyway, but I read that first bit and thought you would enjoy that they were talked out.
I know,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
And then also that he blazed out in anger against Job.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Okay, so we are slowly coming up to the conclusion of Job. Like, how is this going to wrap up? Like, we've just introduced now a new character
Yeah.
really late on in the film, as it were.
Well, I guess what I expected when he showed up was that we would, I guess I kind of hoped he would have some sort of really good explanation where we go, I see everyone's been going back and forth and around, and now he's going to kind of sum it all up for us and like give us some wisdom.
I don't know about that.
But he hasn't yet.
I don't know about that.
I guess that was my hope, but maybe that was foolish.
I think
of
it's
me.
a false hope.
I think he's still going to talk a bit.
Well, yeah.
He seems to be full of words. He did tell us he was full of words.
Okay, so I think he's going to talk. Do you think maybe he's building up to a point?
That's what I
And then
keep
he's going to like make
expecting.
his point, and then we're going to hit like our denouement, like our epilogue, where it all makes sense all of a
Or
Sudden.
Deus Ex Machina.
Is
Maybe
Elihu?
not that.
Is it? He's
No.
Our Deus Ex Elihu.
Deus Ex Elihu.
Maybe. He might
That's
be.
good. Yeah, I think you might be onto something. I guess my hope, and maybe this is me being the optimist that I am,
You are.
but I'm hoping that next episode we get like Elihu's real thing he's been building up to this whole time, right? Because he keeps saying like, listen to me, listen to me, listen, I got lots of stuff to say.
Listen.
And then maybe next episode he'll finally say it and we'll all be like, whoa. Yeah, he really brought that all together
I'll
finally.
believe it when I say it, like
Alright.
I keep saying.
And then I think we'll go back to God and Satan.
Okay. All right.
Maybe
I wanna
not next
see that.
episode, but maybe the one after,
no,
where then
I wanna
they're
see
like,
that.
And maybe even God and Satan will be like, "Whoa, didn't think about that."
Yeah.
Even that their minds
Right.
will be blown.
right, that then they'll be like, okay,
Well,
yeah,
yeah.
well, looks like I won that bet, Satan. And then Satan's like, you're right, you're more of a gentleman than I. And then, then God will do something like,
And then
save
like,
Job or something.
freeze pose like the end of an 80s movie.
Right. Yes.
Well, we'll find out next time.
Yeah, I'm interested
On
to see.
Glee.
No, on Drunk Bible Study, actually.
On Dibs.
Dibs.
On Dibs.
Have you done that before in your head? Thought of our show as Dibs? DBS? Drunk Bible Study?
Dibs.
Because I love calling it Dibs.
Yeah.
That's pretty
On
good.
Dibs.
Dibs? Okay, well.
Perfect.
All right, well, we'll see you next time on
Dibs.
Thank you for joining us for Bible study today. If you enjoy the show, take a moment to subscribe and then write us a nice review on iTunes or Stitcher, letting other people know what you like about it. We love hearing from you. Find us on Twitter @DrunkBibleCast, on Instagram @DrunkBibleStudy, or send us an email to info@drunkbiblestudy.com. Drunk Bible Study is created and produced by Emily Matlack, Jace Lindgren, and me, Dedeker Winston. Our theme song is Book Club by Josh and Anand from their album Home of the. The theme song for the Book of Job is Agnus Dei X by Kevin MacLeod. For more information, visit us at drunkbiblestudy.com.
I made a memory about your dad. He's in a book club. Whoa. He's got a history of skimming past all the pages of ageless confessional shit.